I did not hate Rome first. That is the truth, though I spent years trying to improve it. Mine began with a lie I told because I wanted figs. I was 11 or 12. Sepphoris sat above us then like a city trying to become a crown. My mother hated the place. Cities that climb hills think God is below them, she used to say. My father would answer, then why do you keep sending me there? Because God also put merchants on hills, and merchants have oil. After Herod died, strange days multiplied. Men spoke of kings as if saying the word loudly could make one. I understood almost none of it. I understood only that the men who used to call me rat boy because I was quick now called me boy as if I had become useful. There was a man named Hanan. He carried grief like a coin he expected everyone else to honor. He said Rome was weak. He said Herod's death had opened a door. He said the storehouse in Sepphoris held weapons that belonged to the people by right. He said many things men say before boys die for them. I liked him because he gave me figs, not many. One at a time, dried, pressed flat, sweet enough to make my teeth ache and small enough to make me loyal. He never asked me to fight. He asked only what boys were good for. Watch that road, carry this word, tell me if the patrol turns before the lower wall, bring this to your uncle, do not tell your mother. I told myself messages were not swords. My cousin Illy found out first. He was not truly my cousin. Everyone poor enough becomes cousin if their mothers share enough salt. He was bigger than me, slower than me, and good in a way that made me angry before I understood anger could be envy wearing a cheap cloak. Stop carrying for Hanan, he said. We were behind the olive press where flies gathered in little kingdoms. You jealous he does not ask you? Illy looked toward the road. My father says men like that need boys because men can be questioned. Your father thinks goats have opinions. Goats do have opinions. Then ask one about Rome. He shoved me, not hard, hard enough to make the argument honest. Dagon. I hated when he said my name like he had found it somewhere I had dropped it. What? If they take weapons, Rome comes? Rome is already here. Not like that. He was right. I knew he was right even then. That was the problem with Illy. He did not have enough imagination to be fooled by the pretty version of things. I should have stopped. Instead, I told him Hanan had asked after him. I said there was work for a stronger boy. I said there might be coin. I said men were gathering near the northern path, and if Illy wanted to prove he was not afraid, he could come watch. It was the sort of lie a boy tells because he wants company in his shame. Illy came. He did not take coin. He did not carry a sword. He came because he thought if I was going to stand near foolishness, someone should stand near me. That is the part I never learned how to forgive. The day Sepphoris broke open, the air changed before the city did. From inside the day, there was no clean line. There was shouting, then running, then a horn or someone screaming like one, then men carrying things wrapped in cloth who did not want anyone to ask what shape lay under the fabric. Hanan was everywhere until the first real danger. Then he became difficult to find. I remember Illy's hand on my shoulder. We go, he said. I wanted to say yes. I wanted that so much that I hated him for making it possible. Then Hanan appeared near the lower road with blood on his sleeve that did not seem to be his. He grabbed me by the back of the neck, not cruelly, not gently, like a man taking hold of a tool. The south path, he said. Tell them the patrol turned. Tell them now. Illy stepped between us. He is not going. Hanan looked at him the way men look at a locked door while already thinking about the window. Who is this? Someone with sense, Illy said. I laughed. I do not know why. Fear does that sometimes. It reaches into a boy and pulls the wrong string. Maybe if I was stronger or better, things would have been different. I don't know. I am not those things. Hanan did not laugh. He looked past Illy toward the road, then back at me. If they do not move, they die. Then I understood. Messages could be swords. Maybe I am giving the boy more reasoning than he had. Maybe he only thought a man told him to run. I was a boy with dust in his mouth and a fig in his stomach from yesterday, and suddenly the world had placed itself in my hands as if the world were not ashamed. Illy said, no. Hanan struck him, not with a sword. With the back of his hand, hard enough to send Illy sideways into the wall, I ran the message. Hanan had looked at me as if I mattered, and Illy had looked at me as if I could still choose. I chose the easier burden. The south path was already heat and panic. I told the first men I saw that the patrol had turned. One cursed, one blessed me, one ran. Others followed because running is more contagious than courage. I did not wait to see whether I had saved them or sent them into a mouth. On the way back, I saw the smoke. Sepphoris burned like a hill trying to become night. I found Illy near the olive press. He was alive. For a few breaths, that was mercy. Then I saw his father was not. They had taken him on the road, not killed, taken. There are words worse than killed when Rome is near. Dead men stop walking. Taken men remain useful to someone. Illy did not speak to me. He held his mother's shawl in both hands. I do not know why he had it. Maybe she had dropped it. Maybe he had taken it from the house. Maybe he needed something soft enough to prove the world had not become all iron. I wanted to tell him I had run the message because men might have died. I wanted to tell him Hanan made me. I wanted to tell him I was afraid. Instead I said, "Where is your mother?" Illy looked at me then. He never looked like a boy again. "You tell me." He said. I had no answer. Rome came properly by evening. Varus's men made the world official again. The city was burned. People were taken. Hanan disappeared. Of course he did. My father returned after dark with blood in his hair and no oil. My mother did not ask about the oil. She counted us first. My father, me. My little sister, asleep because children can sleep through the end of a world if fear exhausts them early enough. Then she asked about Illy's family. No one answered. The next morning, I found a small carved bird in the dust near the place where Illy had stood. His little sister had carried it everywhere, a stupid thing with one wing longer than the other and a beak that looked more like a broken thorn than a bird. I picked it up because I knew her hand had held it. I meant to give it back. That is another comforting lie. I kept it, not to remember her, to punish myself with proof that remembering was not enough. For years after, when men asked why I hated Rome, I gave them the clean answer. Fire, chains, crosses. Underneath was the smaller one. I hated Illy because he had been right, and I hated myself because when the road split, I chose the path where someone else paid for my fear. There is one more thing about Sepphoris I will set down here, though it does not belong to the day itself. It belongs to the year that came after. My father did not last the year. Rome had finished with Sepphoris, but not with the country around it, and the country around it was where we lived. The fields were burned in a raid that did not bother to name itself. He died in the burning. My mother did not survive a few weeks past him on the road. I will say what little I can say about that elsewhere in this book, or I will not say it. The lamp is low, and an old man chooses what he can carry. What I will say here is that my sister was 6 when our mother stopped waking, and I was 12, and what we learned between us on the road after that I will not write down. She is still alive, the last I heard. In a town I will not name in this book, because her grandchildren do not know what I was as a boy, and I do not